Dionko tabesusha kapu bagamba tabesusha
because kwirikisha Dionko what?
Okay.
You can try in front of the guest.
Kiko.
Dionko tabesusha ushikushemele chimbala chirocha. Go on.
No.
Kasi.
Then my video, nimavutika.
No private.
Allow me to do this, alright?
Let's go. Today I need to put it on record. I love your introduction. I get excited.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You know,
you look cute.
Thank you. Whoever it is, alright? I'm gonna say this. Now, people come and go, right? And then there's like, okay, so there's 8 to 9 different types of people that do great things, right? And then there are people like Roberto who have just evolutionized what a lot of people have tried to do for the longest time, because they've been R&B singers in this country way before Roberto came on the scene. A whole lot of people, I want to mention legends, but that would sound a lot disrespectful.
Yeah.
But they were there, they came and they stopped. And Roberto has done it for the longest time. For me, he stands so much for what we should embody as artists. Instead, if you're coming into the game, you need to go ask Roberto, find out what it is he's done right, and then keep asking him. Because you ask him, then maybe your life turns into something else. For me, Roberto stands for greatness, and he stands for what Zambia should be about. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the one and only
Roberto Superstar in the house. And I remember, I think when Mwamuna Bwanji came on the official Z Top 20, I complained. No, Roberto, why did I miss in the video? I should have been that woman. Yeah.
Just what movie?
Yeah, he said Valentine's is for Satanists. So he's not on the line.
But anyways, welcome to the show, Roberto.
Yo, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure coming here and being with you guys. So yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Excited. Plus my crush is over here. So.
Okay.
Put it on record.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm reaching out. So.
Yeah. Okay. We had Bombshell. And
I see what you're doing.
No. It's the only problem.
We see you.
Still, I'm gonna vibe you. You know,
so
like this type of vibe?
Yeah, no, nothing. You know, you're my crush. No, my arguments there.
It went somewhere else.
We want. Personally, I want to say thank you very much for representing excellence. And I don't think there's an award for this, but I'm giving it to you today.
We should create one on the official Z Top 20. Yeah.
For real, yeah?
Yo, Roberto stands for excellence. There is a
clean, yeah.
If ngati nyimbo yake idrop as a DJ, I don't know if it's because there's a DJ down, but like
never.
I'm the first person to get the song, and like the respect is in nama words vazaika ko iyi nyimbo itantauza so tishta so ngati not really like begging to dance nkoni mutichana na video mtitumile. No, but like really that for me is what, if we behave like that, treated DJs like that, they will treat your music like that. And I respect you, bro. I don't even have much to say, but Kawe is where
hometown. Yeah, that's my hometown actually.
Baka.
Yeah, Kawe. So actually I was born in Chipata.
Okay.
So Mdandauza Chipata,
No, I know what she's trying to say.
David does.
Oh,
yeah.
It's what?
Kulankula.
Yo.
Leave it there.
I'm gonna teach you when we're going on a date. Don't worry. When we're going on a date, I'll teach you. Don't worry. I got you. Trust me. Okay, but yeah. So Nabado Chipata, like 17th December. I can't remember the year. Don't I? So, but then I grew up Chipata Day. Then I went to do my grade 5 in Kawe at Nimtree. Actually, before I went to Nimtree, I came here. I was at Chibelo, the one that's in Ibex.
Chibelo.
Yeah, Chibelo. Yeah, so I did my grade 3 there, then went back to Chipata, did my grade 4, then went to Kawe to do my grade 5, then went back to Chipata.
What caused the movement?
So my dad was a PS.
Okay.
Back in the day. So yeah, there's a lot of movements going on, this and that. Then my mom was a teacher. And so yeah, need a situation whereby basically waenda huku then nayo basically na wewe wafuna kukupeleka kuma areas. So yeah, so we'd end up traveling from town to town. Then yeah, I did my grade 7 in Chipata, grade 8 in Kawe, grade 10, 11, 12 I did in South Africa. So yeah, zunguluka che.
Then went to South Africa. Ija feeling yofuna okugwerera enzepo mwenzo ofuna kye kusala kuje because nikumbukira ma times yatu tuzopezeka ati olomzatu akapezeka chati olokapena anyways there was no town cooler than Lusaka back in the day,
of course,
but muntu akapezeka ati kwirako chendeko olwaenda pa Zimbabwe pakuta TV into vokosa kuli consequence ngana timukumbwa imwe no was that ever a story and
I think I wouldn't say we were spoiled when we were young. We learned things the hard way. My dad divorced my mom like 6 months before I was born. So there were certain privileges that, of course, my elder siblings enjoyed that some of us never really enjoyed. But I do know that one of the few things that my dad always wanted to do was to make sure we received certain things. I remember the first time I got on a plane, I was in grade 4. Yeah, from Lusaka to Chipata. Yeah, so a number of things, would be handed to us, but life was really tough. But along the way, I pretty much understood that okay, life is a kankara same. So especially when he traveled, he went to Australia, then he started staying there, then things became rough for us, staying with a single mom, and yeah, so yeah, it was rough.
So mwananda tafya shaba badi mnastanda sana chimba ba Stephen. Okay. Mwananda tafya shaba badi mishile 6 months before tamla fialo. Did that shefidia fialo affect kukula kwenu?
Yeah.
How did it affect mushila?
So, the thing is in as much as I could tell that my mom really wanted us to grow up a certain type of way. It's only a father figure. Even for me, when I am taking care of my nephews and my nieces, if, for example, I notice a behavior can go in a certain type of way, there's a certain type of discipline that you instill. You know what I mean? Like children who always fear a male, different na cars. Like with women, because even if you want to punish someone, the woman always go, but with a man, you are instilling a certain type of discipline. So along the way, I realized there's a difference. Wanzako vinangu basta so iwe so chanchande nombo kunena nika last born kaje munga uje mgaiza na cha report kulo eche
last born
so nikaona chetu mami mtoma last born mwa set one setting but yeah, along the way you start to realize there's a big difference when you're brought up by a single parent and when there's a father figure. But I think what really changed everything is that the majority of my family members were, I would say, men. You know what I mean? So they were there to kind of like act like a father figure. Yeah, that sort of thing. So yeah, different upbringings and different understanding. But yeah, here we are. Bad shit.
Tikafuna kamba maybe monga like nzapo zako nkumbuye panikani salary ya teacher. Back in the days, see and salary ya watu my teacher. Chenfo was very up to vendela as you grow up, especially if you're growing up one of our peers, you have a certain group of friends. And then now there's that change of lifestyle.
Yeah.
Was that something chavuta at some point?
Too much. Yeah, too much, because there were certain privileges, of course, that were there. You know what I mean? You want to go this side. My sisters went to study in Switzerland, others were in Russia, my brothers were in Germany, this and that. So then, Burikira Roberto, Mdara, so my young sister, all of a sudden, she's in Australia, in church, in shower, chain everywhere.
Oh, she's my last born.
No, but the differences were there. That much I can tell you for a fact. And I think that's what's really just changed the way that I look at life. Most of my nephews and nieces are orphans. So, and I've told myself it's important for me to not let them go through his lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's not punishment. They are innocent. You know what I mean? It's not like they chose to say, okay, I'm going to be born to parents who are all going to die. Then life here going to change. No, they are innocent. And it's up to people like myself who've been through some of these situations to make sure that they don't go through. Exactly.
So bama daddy wa PS ndesta fair ama calculation imuna wa ozi to afat mwe fair direction. Therefore kwishiba how music and actually support, or maybe the question should be how was it born?
Okay, so the thing is my dad was an active musician. He used to play instruments.
Oh,
guitar, my percussions, my drums, vijava, shan. So it all started when that Unza. You know, you've seen those trees at Unza. That is my dad and his friends. So when he was at Unza, that was pretty much. He used to play soccer a lot, and like music was the thing. Then same with mom. So it's almost like they liked each other because of music.
Oh.
So even when we were growing up, there was more of music. Everything So even when got time you washa, pa funika muimba. Malaiti akaenda mdara muimba nyimbo cheza kuchechi shan. So it was like everything was just about music, you know what I mean? And even some of my late brothers, one was a presenter on NBC, on radio and TV. The other one was a DJ. The other one was pretty much just into computers and music. Yeah. So it was like everything was just music. Yeah.
Time now with Ozzy.
Big bro.
Yeah. And one of the things that he said was at some point, there's one of holiday to South Africa.
Yeah.
And then he found out that Imam was more conversant na
music.
Music. But I remember you were like the radio, like when Roberto Zambia DJ's badger, sound good radio kind of vibe. So much so that even when he said Aleka radio and Kalache musician,
full-time.
I was one of the few people that was shocked because some of these great, I think Airtel was a very good sponsor at the time. My companies, and these were the guys that were running Vija Vintu. You know what I mean? So when he said Naleka, I'm like, no, why you stopping? But I want to know why you were more conversant musically, but maybe Ozzy ended up being the guy and you stood back. I don't know if you stood back or it was just people was trying to understand Mishamush.
So I'll run you through a brief history. When we were in Chipata, this was the first day that I wrote a song. First day. It's because I saw my brother, Nawanzak in issue, and talking about music. But so the first song that I would say I wrote, I was listening to an album by a guy called Warren G. There was a song called You Don't See. For me, that was my first song. You know what I mean? You don't see what I see. That's the song. It's by Warren G.
Okay.
It's on the album called Regulate. Okay. So what I did was I just wrote down all the lyrics munyimbo patikali kwenye makasetu wachari wind hapa you don't wapichari wind for to see. Then I just started rewriting some of those words, just making them my own. But the rhythm and the melody were pretty much the same. That was the first song I'd say I wrote. It's because I saw Ozzy. Then I'm the one who always used to go and buy music. I'll buy cassettes, and he liked reggae and dancehall and everything. So I'll buy music for Ozzy. Even the time in South Africa.
You loved him that much? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I used to send him music almost every week. Like there was a show that used to come on YFM by Admiral and Appleseed. Used to come on YFM. Ozzy would tell you, every week I would send for my brother because I knew he loved music. But production wise, I would say I started first. He's not a producer as per se. He's more of like singing about it. So that's how it all started. So when he came to South Africa, no, Shanshan, Abana Kanyimbo to Backstabber. No, it sounds good. Backstabber, no, it sounds good. Then I made some more beats for him in South Africa. Then when I came back, by then Nish had already produced 2 albums. That side, like a compilation and my own album.
You haven't done my album?
Mine.
Okay.
So my first album Yeah, like there was a compilation. We had put together a different set of artists from those, like 3 guys from Mozambique, Angola, Zimbabwe, Malawi.
You've always been doing international things.
Yeah, that was like...
It shouldn't shock us so much now.
No, it started like, and this was when I was in high school. I was in grade 11. So the first album I produced, like a whole compilation. There were artists like Cypher. That was the first time I met Double HP. I also met, what's this guy's name? The one who does Idol South Africa. Proverb.
Proverb.
Yeah, Proverb was like, he was one of our good friends, and we used to make beats together. So it all started from there, like when I was still in high school. And then now, when I came back, people were like, oh, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. But then, people were not really appreciative. Then, first song that hit was Operator.
So
but that, because I always feel like kulivindvane yomwino mwana munga nikavala akadeka bazantu basatashe obochoka panje obezana tashe obovala cheya no mo obezika twatashe was Operator nyimbo enemnaona ati ndiye izankala ya
No, it wasn't even the first song. I think that was like song number 6 or 7. The first song that I wanted to put out was a song called Mtima Wako. Now Mtima Wako, when I was in studio, I was recording it because I wanted Chameleon to be on the chorus. So when I with Ozzy, the thing was going to Copper Belt, and I spoke to him. I said, I've got a song, but you know how it is, where like you're just like a small boy,
big boys,
and people, it was tough, bro.
So
it was tough.
So after all that, Bishench Payama Ipanga Brotherhood production.
Yeah, like I think when grade 8, Nish Brotherhood started already. If you listen to Ozzy's first song, Backstabber, even says it in it. Like we started Brotherhood when we were in grade 8.
Ooh.
Actually, maybe even before we got into secondary school.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to go to Nyumba Yaba Reverend. What's her name again? I think she was what is it? She was in the Manawasa government. She was from Kawe. She was Minister of Lands at some point. So she had a church in Kawe. So we used to go to garage where they used to keep the keyboards and everything else. Yeah, I was in grade 8. That's where we used to make beats from.
So after Mwate decide mwabakona ba DJ at some point, na Fimbi, I don't know Mwa Shete decided in Defa Fukuba na manje okuba a musician like 100%.
Actually, I started with music first.
Oh, before Tamlaba.
Yeah. So how I got to radio, I went for an interview on Hot FM actually. Yeah, Hot FM. That's right. But then we were in town, right across in the house. Yeah, and the person who was interviewing me then was Hope. I think it was at 6 to 6 part 2 or 3. I think it was part 2 or something like that. So there's a new song that I released. So I went on radio, and just like the way we're chatting like this then, for example, it says, you know, you sound good on radio. Don't you want to give it a try? I'm like, actually, people say, okay, yeah, maybe I sound Then people started calling, no, let him stay on the show. That's how we did the show together. Then, towards the end of the show, like, I think she said, tell me if you want Roberto to come and be part of Cruise Control. And everyone said, yeah. So that's how I went. I think like a week or 2 and the likes, and yeah. I never had a contract or anything like that, but it was just passion, you know what I mean? But I would say, I can gladly and safely say my radio career started at Hot FM. And yeah, I think I remember Oscar was one of the people that came and laughed at me because I think they did it on purpose. But I'm still at the Arabic. I hope said she's going somewhere. So there was Chino, there was Chino, I think there was Tony, and then Oscar as well in the space there. And then Hope, I think, left like 3 songs playing, and she said, Kasire, back announce and say something.
Okay.
So, Kans, they were listening in the other room. So now I was scared. So what I did, I reduced the volume halfway so that they can't hear if I've made a mistake. Then they walked in and said, "Yo, just have volume. Come back over here." I'm telling you. Then the next song, Pa played. I just said, you know what? Damn it, let me just do it. And I can guarantee you, after that instance,
never
been the same.
Okay.
So, after when what you receive, you becoming just a musician. Both of you are ours. But then, music, why?
There's a difference. It's like you, as a parent, for example, right? Even if you like football, you like to play football. and then you start hearing, I'm going to Chabola. There's a difference. That's you loving the sport, and then you seeing and giving permission to someone to say, okay. So even with my mom, it's tough. Grade 8, I used to jump through the window to go and play. I used to play in Kawa at a nightclub called K's, Pavilion. So every Friday, Saturday, I would run away from Kunyumba. And nyamana a plastic bag. Faka cassette. To Bluetooth, to Rambo to plastic full. And every amount, like, I even told the same mom, I'm here to confess. Mukapasa ndrama, tendeni mkakule matomato shanshan, tenzo iba kwa ndrama. And I was a good negotiator. If they tell me, okay, my tomato eri shanshan is this much, I would negotiate and make sure I get a certain amount so that I buy cassettes. That's what I used to do. That's what I used to do. It's not bad.
But successful radio career.
Thank you.
Very successful radio career. But Mama used to give up for this new direction in your music. You know what I mean?
I went back to my first love.
Your first love.
Yeah.
Conversation. What's going through Muduman?
It had nothing to do with the environment or anything. It was about time. Time management. So initially, before the trips outside the country started, it was a bit easy. Basically, Friday, I know it's available. I can easily say, okay, can you sit in for me on Friday so I can travel early? I go to Livingston because there's a show. Because you can't start off from Lusaka at 18 hours and you want to attend the show and number 22 hours. It was a bit challenging because then I think I used to do the drive time and then I went to breakfast. So timing was crazy. Then I was given another show Sunday morning. So you can imagine Friday morning you're on radio, Sunday morning you're also on radio. It was just a disaster. So now I had instances where I would need to leave the country maybe like on a Wednesday and then I come back on a Monday and you do breakfast show. So it became really challenging and I thought to myself, I think I'm doing an injustice to the station and they're like, so let's say now I need to part ways with my lovely audience. But it was a decision that I think was right at that time. Do I miss radio? Yes, I do.
So that feel people at mwalitemune pokuimba sana than radio because it's like quite choosing of one or two. I
was looking at my future, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
And what I wanted to do, I wanted to start building. I wanted to get married. Then I was single, and you know, like a lot of things came to play. You know what I mean? And it was just a lot for me at that point. So yeah, I had to really give up one so that I can now focus on one that will just manage at least. And for me, I felt like 2015 was a year that I did a lot of things. I started building, you know, and yeah, it was just amazing.
Let's talk about you now.
Yes, sir.
Traveled. Collaborations and whatever. And I was looking at your YouTube page and just how beautiful it looks. Your catalog is rich with Manyimbo Yosiana and some of them with some of the best collaborations that some people could only dream about. Talk to us in a very couple of minutes what that means to you every time you guys reflect.
I'll tell you about the person that inspired me in regards to my collaborations, or rather the two people. The first person was Peterson. And there was a time Peterson was traveling, I think Kenya, Namibia, and I saw he had this, I don't know if it was an album or something, and he had like all these artists from different countries. I was like, wow, I want to do this. You know, and I told him, like even today if you meet with him, he'll tell you, I always tell him up front, say you inspired this direction. And the person that basically was pushing me more and more was Generosity. Because he was like, you know, people will like you because you're my young brother. So even those that want to get back at me, they would rather give you an opportunity, so take advantage. And for me, I was like, wait, but why would you be telling me such a thing? But along the way, I realized it's very true. So you find the people that I work with in Uganda, Rwanda, for example, are all people that were Oz's friends, or are Oz's friends. I met them via Generosity. DJ Pius is Oz's friend. The reason why I went to Uganda or to Rwanda the first time was because of Generosity. and one of his first friends called Rwanda was DJ Pius. But like the next song that we're about to release features DJ Pius, and we've been friends for over 12 years. So sometimes people are like, no, hey, why are you teaching? I'm like, guys, you don't know history, you know what I mean? Alan Tonics I met via General Ozzy and Charlie Bravo from Sling Beats. So all these people, somewhere, those General Ozzy along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the next move for Roberto now?
Ooh, I feel like it's just sustainability. I don't know. Like, I feel like I have achieved pretty much almost everything for Zambia, or in Zambia. For Zambia, I feel like the journey, you know, we don't have a Grammy yet. We don't have an MTV award yet. And I think level of music Paniafika Pamanje, I think it's very possible for us to win, you know, awards of that nature. And it requires more work, you know, great competition, you know, people keeping you on your toes. And I don't like to feel like, oh, it's Roberto, so let me just sit back. No, everyone that comes up, for me, motivates me and say, wow, this guy is doing great stuff, you know what I mean? Let me work even harder. But at times people look at it, I'm not jealous. No. If you look at it as from a jealous point of view, trust me, the only thing I'll be doing is trying to create music similar to whoever it is. You know what I mean? So for me, it's good to see people come up, they're doing well. It should motivate you and say, wow, this is great. Let me work even twice as hard. Yeah.
So, naishita notice that you direct a video, and sometimes ama songs you have touch in it, produce. Yeah. So, we share direction for or maybe my a certain type of sound and no one can.
For example, the current song Mamuna Bwanji was produced by King Tech. Guys, he comes from Choma. Yeah, I just met him a year ago, but he's amazing. Kwasa was produced by, what's his name again? Jazzy Boy. Fiancé I produced. The song that's playing in the background was produced by the guys that produced a couple of songs for Beyonce. So I work with different producers.
Then when the video, you know, last time
I'm about to go to video.
Okay, therefore I'm asking one question and I'm Naleba cast last time that I am a video Zaka Roberto, yeah, African touch to it, vintage, shani, and Mamuna Bwanji, African woman for so long, and she be in but you say Monica
with the Afro touch, It's true.
The difference is the same.
So, there's a reason why my name is Roberto Zambia. And it was inspired because I saw Chameleon. In the beginning, he was calling himself Chameleon Africa. And I said, what? I need to have an identity. So I said, Roberto Zambia. Because I love my country. And I always want to believe every year there could be someone who's never heard of Roberto and they're hearing it for the very first time. So what should they see? What is my identity? It shouldn't be different from everything else that I'm doing. Okay. You get my point? And I'm from Africa and Zambia. So I should represent the motherland. Okay. So it's not like, okay, it's the same, whatever. But for me, it's about, I always want to
it might not make sense for us Zambians because we see these things.
Every day.
No, for people in Namibia, they're like, oh, that's what's happening. Okay.
Yeah, like I got in touch with Diplo's manager, I think 2 weeks ago. Yeah, no, it's not his manager, but it's like on his team. And they're like, listen, we have a DJ from Ukraine who just got to hear your music for the first time. And you'd be surprised, the first song they heard was Into You, and then they saw Beautiful. But you see, those two videos are different, very, very different. Then they checked out African Woman, and it was like, wow, is this you or like 3 different artists? Because the sound is different. But for me, that's what I want. Like when someone hears something, they should be like, okay, now with some consistency and that sort of thing. Yeah,
okay. Exactly. Now, Fiapanga.
Tell you what, man. The conversations need to end. See, I'm a zero, but we want to say thank you very much, Roberto, for coming through. And Mamuna Bwanji is born the job, baby. Go ahead, look for Roberto Zambia.
This is the time to use the Chani. It's better than Valentine
dreams. I'm a legend. Anyways, for now, let's go ahead and do this. Keep it quick to 93.3. My name is Cass. And I'm the greatest chilling with the one and only. Her name is Effie, the radio goddess. And we had another legendary artist in the building. His name is Roberto Zambia.
Yes, sir.